All right. So throughout the month of September, we have been talking about the mental state of
Of
your
your
marriage.
marriage, yes.
If you have healthy mental state and your spouse has unhealthy mental state, the mental state of your marriage is
It's
not
not
good.
good. Yeah.
If both of you have unhealthy mental states, the mental state of your marriage is not good.
Yeah.
But when you and your spouse both have healthy mental state, then that means the mental state of your marriage is good.
Yeah.
So that is what we've been talking about on this entire month of September. Today is obviously the last week of September.
Mm-hmm.
And as usual, we're talking about hot takes and
And
heart
hot
checks.
checks.
That's a
The
segment
segments.
of My Darling Bride that we're talking about on today. Hot takes and heart
Every
checks
last Sunday.
every last Sunday of the month,
Yes.
right? Today, we're talking about a topic that kind of relates to what we have been talking about,
Mm-hmm.
mental state of your marriage and relationship, but we're discussing today, do kids make marriage stronger
Stronger.
or harder?
Mm.
Do kids make marriage stronger or harder?
Real
That is what
talk.
we're talking about
Yes.
on today.
That's what
According
we're
to the insane or ignorant census. So welcome back to My Darling Bride podcast, powered by RNF Network. My name is Yemi Emmanuel Ludowski.
And I'm Lonnie O.
On this podcast, we dig, discover, and deploy biblical gems for the building or rebuilding of kingdom homes and relationships.
Yes, we are on a mission
Yes,
to equip
yes.
couples on how to build on a rock solid foundation, cultivate a culture of honor and respect, invest intentionally and consistently in your marriage or your relationship, defend your union, and lastly, empower one another towards purpose fulfillment.
Yes, and like we always say, this is where love meets legacy, but I like to say
Yes.
this is where real love meets real
Real
talk.
talk.
We got a good one for you on today. Let's get it. Do kids make marriage stronger or harder? Hot takes and heart checks, right? The reason for hot takes and heart checks is the whole purpose, the whole point of it is for us to answer hot questions that a lot of people have in their marriage and relationship
Mm-hmm.
and answer those questions in a way that has you checking on your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Hot takes, heart checks,
Mm-hmm.
because your answer to that question would be dependent on the current state of your heart.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we may need to do a heart checks
Mm-hmm.
to ensure that we are answering hot takes, hot questions in the most positive biblical
Yeah.
way possible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and it's more it's even more important for those that are unmarried, right? Like those that are married, have kids, they want to figure it out and try to make sense for them. But
Yeah.
those that are not married are looking at those that are married, and they're taking cues from there.
Yes.
So it's a matter of having discussions that could also help those that are looking to get married.
Exactly.
Right? So this also applies to them. So do kids make a marriage stronger or harder?
I want to read a verse here from Psalms 127, verse 3,
Okay.
right? Where the Bible says, children are God's love gifts.
Yes.
They are heaven's generous reward. Children are God's gift to you, and they are heaven's generous reward. I'm reading from TPT version of the Bible. And that is the mentality we have to consistently have about children, no matter how they come about, right? I've heard situations where people would say, because you had a child before you got married, because the father was not around, because you don't even know the father of that child, because the baby came by mistake or something like that, we tend to think that because of one thing or another, children are not a blessing.
Yeah.
When in reality, the Bible says, regardless of how they come about,
Yes.
children are a blessing
Yes, a
to the
gift.
word. It's God's gift to us as
Absolutely,
parents.
yeah.
Now, I will say this: You do not have to be a parent, even though you are married. Let's be clear on that.
Yeah.
Multiplication in terms of having children is one of the reasons we get
We get
married, but
married.
it's not the sole reason why we get married. There's
Yes.
companionship, there's partnership,
Yeah.
there's so many things that
And there's
we
people
get
that
married for.
don't want to have kids, and that's
Absolutely.
okay.
And there are people that cannot have kids, and
Yes.
that's
And that's
also
okay.
okay, right?
Yeah.
We're praying for those who want to have kids but cannot
Can I
have
have
kids.
it?
They want it, but they just can't seem to get it.
Yeah.
We're praying that the Lord will open
They
wombs and
won't.
allow
Amen.
for, when I'm praying ephata, right?
Amen.
Be open, that wombs be
Amen.
open, and
Yeah.
God does a mighty work of miracle in a way that is going to surprise you, no matter your
Amen.
circumstances, no matter how
Yes.
long you've been praying and asking God for a fruit of the
Amen.
womb, no matter your age, no matter your situation. I'm
Yeah.
praying that if by some virtue you are listening to this podcast right now,
Yeah.
God is going to visit you at the point of your need, and your long awaited prayer will
Yes.
be answered in this season of your
Amen.
life. If you believe it,
Amen.
say amen.
Amen.
So God is going to open womb for those who are looking. But again, if you don't have, you don't want, and you don't have, it's also perfectly fine.
Yeah.
The question we're talking about, the point of discussion for today is, do kids make marriage stronger
Or
or
harder.
harder? Do kids make marriage stronger or harder? And I kind of want us to approach it in this way, where we kind of make an argument for
For
those who say
both.
it's stronger and those who say it's harder.
Yeah.
In your opinion, what would you say, or how would you say having kids? We have 3 kids, right? How
Yes.
would you
Three
say
beautiful
that us
kids.
having kids has, in a way, made our marriage stronger and better for us?
Yeah. I mean, I feel
You
like one
know?
of the main thing for us is really the joy in growth that we have in our family. I
Okay.
think that's one of the amazing things that we have and we see, and it's such a blessing.
Mm,
The fact that we're able to have children, and these
mm,
children bring so much joy and
mm,
happiness to the home. I
mm.
mean, we love those kids so much,
Yeah,
and they bring joy to us that
yeah.
even makes the joy radiate even in our marriage.
Mm.
So I think that makes the marriage stronger because of how much joy comes with
Happiness we
them,
have, yeah.
how much
Mm,
blessings and how
mm,
much open doors
mm-hmm,
kids bring with
mm-hmm,
them when you
mm-hmm,
have them. And
mm-hmm.
I feel like that's one of the a great reason why they make marriage stronger
Yeah,
is they bring so much joy into the home. I mean, if you were by yourself and let's say you had such a long day at work and the spouse had such a long day at work,
yeah,
and both of you come home and the house is just quiet and empty, everybody could just go about their corners and then wake up the next day. But when you have kids and you have multiple kids and you had such a long day and you just walk into the door and they just screaming, "Mommy,
mm,
Daddy." I mean, just the joy alone from them is enough to lift up your spirit. So
absolutely.
I feel like that's one of the big ones.
I think for me, I would say that one of the positives for us, for
Yeah.
me, of for having kids, and how I believe it has made our marriage
Stronger.
stronger, is by giving us shared purpose.
Mm.
And I purposely said shared purpose
Yeah.
because, you know, in marriage, before the kids get in the picture, we say it theoretically that we have shared purpose, but in reality, sometimes we don't,
Right.
even though we say it.
Hmm.
You follow what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah. We still have our
You still
individual
have your individual
aspirations and all that.
ambitions, individual goals,
Yeah.
individual desires, individual aspirations, and things like that. Career is more important than family in that stage of life, because in reality, there is no family, kind of. I'm not
Hmm.
saying there isn't, but it almost feel like there isn't when it's
Right.
just y'all
When it's
two.
just you two.
You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Sure, you're a family, you're a couple,
Yeah.
but the family units
Hmm.
usually includes a child or
Children.
two or more. You
Yes.
know what I
Or a
mean? Like that.
child.
So we don't have a shared purpose and legacy for our family when it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
But the moment is more than just the two of us, and we have another life that we're responsible for.
Hmm.
We now have shared purpose, shared legacy that we want to leave. We now have a shared goal in mind. And many a times it would put those kids front and center
Yes.
before we even think about
Ourselves.
ourselves.
Yeah.
And I feel like that makes our marriage better because it allows us to look beyond ourselves
Yeah.
and to look at somebody else and say, I'm living for them.
Mm-hmm.
I go to work for them. I want to have a good relationship with my wife because of them.
Yeah.
I want to have a good relationship with my husband because of them. I want to
Exactly.
show them what it looks like to be a good
Good
father, a
father, a
good
good
mother.
husband, a good
You know, I
wife.
want to
Yeah.
show them what it looks like to be a good wife,
Or
mother,
husband,
husband, and things like
spouse,
that.
and
Right.
all that.
I
Yeah.
want to show them how to live, how
Yeah.
to be a good citizen.
Yeah.
And so now how we treat each other, how we talk to each other,
Reflect.
how we relate with each other
Absolutely.
is better because we know we have to do better,
Yeah.
because we know that somebody
It's
else is looking
watching.
at us and is watching
Yeah.
us, and we are now the first role model that these kids are going to
Yeah.
see, and they're going to see life from our lens and our perspective first
Mm.
before they can develop
Yeah.
their own. You know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
it's so important, and I feel like when you have that consciousness, it makes you better, and it makes your marriage and your relationship
Yeah.
better.
And that's a good one because you kind of intertwined it with something else I was thinking about, which is
Hmm.
commitment to each other.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, you would want to do better
Hmm.
so that way they could see better.
Yeah.
So, more than just having the share purpose and share vision and share, you know, accomplishments or goals and all that, you're also working to be committed to each other
Hmm.
because your children see that.
Hmm.
They're a reflection of you. So what they see at home, what they get at home is also what they take in and also what they grow up with.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, so you're committed to making this work.
Hmm.
You're committed to making sure that this is in a good place.
Hmm.
So that way your children can see what a good thing looks like
Hmm.
and aspire for that as well.
Hmm.
So it also helps marriages stronger because it pushes you to be committed to each other. Even
Hmm.
people, I mean, you hear, and it's almost like a two-edged sword kind of thing,
Hmm.
because you hear some people say they're only together because of the children.
Mm.
And in some breath, you can look at it and say, well, that's not necessarily a good thing. It
Yeah.
should be more than just the children.
Yeah.
But for some marriages, it has helped them
Yeah.
because they stay because of the children,
Yeah.
and they want to have that home structure for the children. In doing that, they end up working it out
Working it
and
out.
making it
Yeah.
work,
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
marriage
Yeah.
blossoms even after the children are out of the home.
Yes.
So it's like, it really depends on the individual and how much
Individual.
work you put into your
Yeah.
marriage.
Yeah.
So it can have you committed to
Hmm.
each other
Yeah.
to work towards having a better and a good
Yeah.
marriage.
And I would also say this, again, we're in answering that question, how do kids make your marriage stronger? We're answering the question just picking from our own lives and
Yes.
our perspective and our journey,
Experience.
experiences, and things like that. I would also say, I mean, there are many reasons that people could give out there. And if you know what, you should comment down below what has made what have you found that having kids has done to your marriage,
Yeah.
right? Has it made your marriage stronger? Has it made your marriage harder for you?
How has it made
How
it
has it made
stronger?
it stronger, if
Right.
it has made it stronger? And how has it made it harder, if it did make
Yes.
it hard,
We're gonna
right?
talk about that
But
too.
we're going to talk about that too. But I just want to add one more. When you look at our perspective and our situation, right? Look at, for example, our son just started playing soccer, and that means we have to commit, using the last point you just shared.
Yeah.
We have to commit not only to ourselves but also to him.
Mm-hmm.
And that means we have to commit to taking him to soccer practice on
Yes.
Thursday
On
nights, taking
Thursdays.
him to his
To
games
game
on
on
Saturdays, right?
Saturdays. Yeah.
And we have to make that sacrifice for him. But what I love about that is I get to watch us be parents,
Yes.
and I see how we got to do this. We got to, like, we're hustling. We're not hustling. I don't like that word hustling anymore. But we're
We're
working to
working. Put in the
make
work.
it work.
Yeah.
We're putting in the work where, we got to get back on time. She will call me, babe, leave the office on time so you can
Yeah.
be there for the game, be there for
Yes.
this.
We make sure we go
We make sure,
together.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And in being parents, watching one another do what we do as a parent
Yes.
actually draws us
Closer.
closer,
Absolutely.
because there is that sense of we're in this together.
Yes.
And when you have that understanding and that mentality that I'm not alone and we're all in this together,
Mm-hmm.
it forces you to build a bond
Yeah.
that is deeper and stronger than if you were just doing life by yourselves.
Yeah.
And there are times that I would go hard for you. There are times you would go hard for me.
Yeah.
But it's a different feeling when we go hard for our children
Yeah.
together.
Together.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When you show up, I show up, and they feel that bond, they feel that connection. I feel like just watching you be a mom draws me closer to you.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? And it
Yeah.
allows our bond to
And
be
vice versa.
deeper, to go stronger, because
Yeah.
there's a thing where when you do things together, you accomplish things together for somebody else, you can step back and look and be like, man, wow, okay,
Yeah.
so that was done.
Yeah.
High five one another and be like, we
Yeah.
did that, right?
Yeah.
That we did that kind of thing
Mm-hmm.
builds a stronger bond.
Yeah.
You know, I remember one time, I don't remember when it was. I think it was, I don't know how many years ago it was, maybe 2-3 years ago it was. Our son again was being playful in the house, and he hit his head
Mm-hmm.
on the edge of the door or something like that.
Yeah.
Started bleeding. It was bad,
Yeah.
right? We rushed to the hospital. My wife was freaking out. But I told her, I said, hey, look, we just gotta be strong. We just gotta do what we need to do. Get him to the hospital. He's gonna be fine. Don't worry about it. We ran, like, I mean, this was midnight. You know what I'm
Midnight. In
saying?
the
It
middle
was
of the
in the
night.
middle of the night.
Yeah.
Got up, did whatever we had to do, went to the hospital. It was at night. Went to the hospital. They took care of him. We had to wait and everything like that. And by the time that whole ordeal was done, and they stitched him up, we went home. Everything was good. He went to sleep. His sister went to sleep. And we were just we just took a step back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And opened the door to their room, looked at them as they were sleeping, thank God for their life.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And we held each other's hand,
Mm-hmm.
walked to our room, laid on the bed, and we just kind of reflected.
Mm-hmm.
Reflected on what just happened,
Yeah.
how we had to, come together and work together
Yeah.
for the betterment of our son, having just hurt himself. And that experience of showing up and praying and worrying even,
Mm-hmm.
and God, let him be good. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
experience alone builds a bond,
Yes.
because now we have a shared experience. We have
Yeah.
something that happened
that we're both
that
were
we
present.
both, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like it happened to us, but we felt it together.
Yeah.
And the feeling of a parent cannot be explained. It
Yeah.
has to be experienced.
Yeah.
And so when you experience that, like if I was hurt, she would be there for me, but she don't know how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
If she was hurt, I would be there for her, but I don't know how that thing really
Mm-hmm.
hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's somebody who is hurting. We both don't know how that feels, but we know exactly how it feels because we're parents of the person who is hurting.
Yeah.
And so the feeling is different. The
Yeah.
experience is different. You can't explain that. And you walk out of that feeling a stronger bond, a deeper bond for one another.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that can only happen, to be quite honest, when you have kids. And so there are positives.
Yes.
There are ways
Kids-
that having kids make your
Kids
marriage
do make your marriage
stronger.
stronger.
Now let's talk about the
Yes.
flip side of things.
Yes. How the kids make your marriage harder.
Yeah.
The truth of the matter is it does.
Yeah.
They do.
Mhm.
And there's no gimmicks about it. There's no beating around the bush. I think what we've just learned is it can be both,
Mhm.
right? Two things can be true.
Yeah.
They do make your marriage stronger,
Yeah.
but they also do make it harder.
Mhm.
And that's the realness of it all.
Mhm.
Where number one, I feel like every parent can relate and
Challenge.
say this. Number one challenge is
Okay, so before you, because we gotta ask the
Okay.
question, what is one or two challenge or challenges
Mhm.
that you think having kids has had on our marriage? If that's a good thing.
Yes.
to put it.
I think one big
Having
one
kids as introduced to our marriage. Challenges that
having kids has introduced to our marriage. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You got it. I think a big one is time.
Okay.
Finding time with each other.
Uh-huh.
It's so hard. It's so hard when you have kids and you have so much to do
Mm.
and you have to be there with them. You
Mhm.
can't just, like, for example, you have a pet. You can leave your pet and go run some errands and do what you got to do.
Yes.
But
It's
when
not
you
the
have
same with
kids,
yeah.
you got to take them with you everywhere, and there's some
Mhm.
places you can't take them to. So it's chipped into time in which we can do things faster,
Yeah.
we can do things more efficiently
Yeah.
if we didn't have kids. And I feel like we've had that conversation
Many
multiple times
times.
before, where
Many
it's like,
times.
man, if we didn't have kids, we'd be able to do this, and
Many
this. And
times.
many times, even when my mom is here
Yes.
and she's able to stay in with the kids, the amount, when I say the amount of things that we're able to do, it's crazy.
Yeah, the difference is
it's so
clear.
it's so the difference is very clear, because when you have somebody being able, somebody you trust, able to be there to watch the kids, you have so much time to actually get a lot of things done.
Yeah.
And then you see, like, man, if I just have like the time,
Help. Yeah.
time to do things, and also time with each other.
Mhm.
I mean, we've prioritized a lot of times when we do have help to watch the game, we've prioritized a lot,
Mhm.
going out and
Mhm.
spending time with each other.
Mhm.
And though we're running errands and doing things and doing a lot of things,
Mhm.
we're making sure that in those things we're doing, we're actually spending time, going on
Mhm.
dates,
Mhm.
just taking advantage of the fact that we do have some spare time
Mhm.
to actually realize that we're in a marriage.
Yeah.
That our mother just parents, we're
Yeah.
also husband and wife.
Yeah.
So I think a big challenge is just finding time. I mean, there's so many times we just want time to ourselves, and the kids are just knocking on the door. Mommy this, daddy this. I mean, our baby now, she's on a screaming marathon. She's just screaming every 5 seconds, and it's like, what happened?
Yeah.
So it's just like there's just so little time you have
Mhm.
when you have kids, because you have to give them the attention. You
Mhm.
have to pay attention. You have to be attentive. You have to be alert. You have to
Mhm.
be there
Mhm.
when they're with you.
Mhm.
So I think that's a big one. It's just finding time.
Mhm.
Time.
Yeah.
Time
Yeah.
is
It's very true, because it becomes less about you and more about them.
yes.
And that forces you to prioritize them over yourself
Yeah.
and spend more time taking care of
Of
them,
them.
raising them, training
Yeah.
them, teaching them,
Yeah.
than you have time for yourself,
Yeah.
And I feel like that's one of the sacrifices you have
Yes.
to
Exactly.
make
It's a
if you
sacrifice.
are gonna be a parent.
Yeah. Does it make it harder? Yes, but it's not impossible.
It's not, no, it's challenging
It's
for sure,
challenging,
but it's not impossible.
Yeah,
Bec-
exactly.
and we're saying that to be real, to be 100%
Yeah,
transparent, because
absolutely.
you've heard people say things like, "Oh, once you have kids, your life is over."
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you have people on the other side of the coin who makes the argument, "No, your life is not over.
It's not.
You can still do this, you can
Yeah.
still do that, you can go clubbing, you can go do da 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 da." Yes, you
You could do
can,
things,
but
but you're
it's
not
not the same.
it's not the
It's
same.
not the
Yes.
same,
Your
because
life is not
even
over.
if even if you could go out and do your single life, because that's really what everybody says, right? Once you get married and you start having kids, your life is over. You can't do this,
Your
you can't do
single
that, blah
life is
blah.
over. Yes.
Even if you did go do those single things you would do, your mind is not even
It
there,
doesn't feel the same.
because you know that there is somebody somewhere
Mhm.
that you are responsible for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so you don't have as much time for yourself
Mhm.
anymore like you used to. And that just means a switch and a change in your
Yes.
priorities,
Exactly.
in your time management,
Exactly.
in the things you spend time doing
Yeah.
and things like that. But does that mean you don't have time for yourself?
No,
No.
you
Does that
create
mean you
it.
can't create time for
You
yourself?
create it.
No. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? But again, you are less important,
Yeah.
they are more important.
Yeah.
That's just the truth.
Yeah.
Doesn't say you're not important,
Just
but
you put your kids
you
first.
put your kids first.
Yeah, that's just the
Any
truth.
parent, any true parent
Yeah.
knows this to be true.
Mhm.
We don't have to debate.
Yep.
We don't have to talk about it. We
Yep.
don't have to go back and forth about it. Any true parent who understands parenting properly
Mhm.
knows this to be true. If
Yep.
I have to explain this to you, you don't
No.
know.
Yeah.
Then that's
And I just wanted to kind of touch upon that part real quick. Just digress a little bit. When people say their life is over when they have kids, your single life is over. That's
yeah.
very true. And it should be. Really, because a transition should happen.
Uh-huh.
You're married, you're with kids, you have responsibility.
Yes,
So
you're no longer
yes, a
single.
different part of your life is over.
Yeah.
Now you transition into a new and beautiful part of your life.
Yes.
So I think people just need to understand, and that's okay. That's
Yeah.
perfectly okay.
I think the hard part, making marriage harder, comes in where you refuse to understand that you are not the same you anymore. For example, you're a married person, you
Yeah.
want to live a single
A
life.
single life.
You're going to struggle with that.
Yeah.
You're a parent now. You want to act like you're not a parent.
Yeah.
That's going to cause struggle in the marriage.
Yeah.
When you refuse to grow, when you refuse to adapt to the new identity or the new responsibility or the new position you've put yourself in, the new office that you
Yeah.
find yourself in, you're going to
You're
struggle
gonna-
for sure.
yeah.
It's going to be hard. It's going to be challenging
And it's not on the
because
kids.
you refuse to step up to the place,
Exactly.
not because the kids showed up,
Yeah.
because you don't want to step up.
Didn't step up.
You in primary
You
school
didn't
is not the
transition.
same as the one in secondary school or the
Absolutely.
one in college. You have to grow, you have to evolve. When you refuse to, is when it
That's
becomes
when
a
it becomes,
problem.
and that has nothing to do.
And
with
that has
having
nothing to do
kids.
with the kids. You
Yeah.
know, another challenge that some people may feel or have concerning marriage and kids is, money.
Yeah.
Finances, you feel like, man, I'm
Financial
spending over these kids. Like, for example, I give you a very good one. Before the summer started, we had some trips set up for the kids, for ourselves as a family. My wife made me, we went to the store, we got nice shoes, nice clothes for the kids and things like that.
Yep.
One of the shoe I really liked, and I was like, oh yeah, he's got to have this one, no problem. We got the shoe. This was before the summer started.
Like
I'm
June.
talking in May.
Yeah. Like
May, June. May ending,
yeah.
June beginning.
Yeah.
We are now in September.
Yep.
Late September.
Yep.
My wife took the shoe and she put it in a bag of clothes and shoes and things like that she wanted to send out to Salvation Army.
Yep.
And I was like, whoa, stop right there.
Didn't
That's
we
the
just get
shoe
that?
we just got. Why are you trying to throw it away?
I'm like, go look at your son's feet.
It's not the same anymore.
It doesn't fit.
This doesn't fit anymore, right? And again, that means we have to get another shoe.
Another one.
And you got to wait another 4 months and they outgrow it. You got to get another one. So in a year, the kids could go through 2, 3, 4, 5 shoes.
And that's just talking about
in
clothes.
1 year.
We're not talking about food.
We're not
and
talking
how
about,
they eat,
you know what I
and all
mean?
those things. And
so
it comes with a lot of
it
responsibility.
can pose a challenge on the marriage when you don't have the finances to manage or to take care of those kids. Kids are not cheap.
They're not.
They're very expensive. My
Mhm.
mom, God bless her, would call me and say, Pastor, how's everything? Blah, 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 blah. But wait, what's going on? What about the number 4 child? Number 4?
Please.
Number 4? You know what I mean?
No.
Like, forget about the fact that ain't anybody got time for
Ain't
that.
nobody got
Let's
time
just
for
start
that.
there.
I'll tell you that.
Ain't nobody got that money.
Yeah.
Raising kids in America
Yeah.
is expensive.
It's not cheap.
It's not
Anywhere.
cheap.
It's not cheap.
No, you can raise kids comfortably, right? Relatively comfortably in other parts of the world like Nigeria or stuff
Depends
like that.
on how you're making money.
Relatively.
Yeah,
That's why I
it
said
ain't
relatively.
cheap.
Yeah, but in America especially, it's expensive. Like just putting the kids in daycare, for example,
Yeah.
that costs money on a monthly basis.
Yep.
I don't want to talk about how much it costs.
Yep. It
But
does.
it costs money.
And
And
sometimes
if you have
you
one,
need
if
to.
you have 2, if you have 3,
to go to work.
you
Yep.
understand what I'm saying,
Absolutely.
right? So that alone can pose a
Yes,
challenge
and
on the marriage.
even that too. In talking about the kind of stress, we have financial stress, but emotional stress is there.
Yes.
I mean, there's so many times where
Yes.
it's like it's been a long day. We've gotten
Mhm.
so much work done. We've done this. I mean, our mind is constantly thinking.
Mhm.
And then when you finally get a time to lay down and just rest, and then boom, you remember you haven't ironed the uniforms. And then you remember you have to pack the school bags. You remember you have to help with the homeworks. And then it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And this is not like once in a blue moon. This is
This is
consistently every time.
yeah,
Waking up,
yeah.
getting them dressed. I mean,
Emotional stress.
you
Yes.
have to do
Yeah,
these things. I get it,
absolutely.
but you can't neglect the fact that it does put stress
Yeah.
on a human being, period.
Yeah.
So, having that responsibility can cause emotional stress. And that sometimes that makes things a little harder.
Yeah, and I mean, again, everybody's reason is different. And some other challenge could be, for example, your identity shifts, like we just talked about.
Yes.
You're no longer single, you're married, you're no longer just married, you have kids, you're a parent now.
Exactly.
That's a
Trying to figure out who you are now.
That's a complete shift
Yes.
in identity. You're not bro this anymore. You're Mr. This.
Yeah.
You're daddy this. You're mother this. You're not sis. You're mommy, Mrs. Like it's that identity shift sometimes can be difficult for some people to adjust to, especially if they're not done with their previous identity. And then another thing too is just, at the end of the day, when you think about it, like sometimes, and this is beyond the kids. This is a question of you and who you are and who you choose to marry. Because sometimes, man, again, before we get into the practicality of things, we like to talk a lot of games. We like to talk theories. But when the thing really happens, that's when for real.
Yeah.
There are a lot of times that myself and my wife, we've talked about many things before we got married. When we were courting, how would you raise a child? What would you do in this situation? How would you do this? How would you do that? We have a lot of conversations like that. But when we got married and the kids came in the picture, some of the things we said was not. I'm like, but
it wasn't clicking.
You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't fitting.
It
was
so
not.
You have different parenting style.
Yes.
There are things that I'm the strict parent.
Yeah.
She's strict too, but she let them get away with good amount of stuff, right?
Yeah.
But there are times there where she would expect me to be strict on a particular matter.
Yep.
And that's where I'm like, oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
That's not a big
and
deal.
I'm like,
she's like, whoa. That's when she wants to be strict, right? And so sometimes you see the things that are important to a parent, and you're like, oh no, that's nothing. And then sometimes it's like, oh no, we gotta be strong and strong. You know what I mean? So
you have those different styles exactly
can cause a challenge on the parents, on the marriage. I want to discipline a child. You don't want to, fine.
Yeah.
But then there's a problem when I want to discipline the child concerning this matter.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I don't mind discipline, but this matter is not a disciplinary issue.
Exactly.
And so we have that back and forth. And if you don't understand each other and how you work, that can pose a problem or a challenge for your marriage.
And these challenges that we're talking about, the beautiful thing about it is it's workable.
Yes.
It's not an end all be all. Even talking about this example you just gave, if there is a strategy or there's a parenting style that you have, and let's say there's a matter you address in a way that I don't really agree with, we have this understanding, like, listen, when either one of us is disciplining or correcting or whatever the child,
let it be.
We don't say nothing. We let it be. We're just quiet. Afterwards, when we're by ourselves, we have a conversation about it and get an understanding amongst each other. So there's solution to everything. There's a way to go around. Like we said, it's sacrifice, it's love. The things that make it harder doesn't make it impossible. It's just a way of navigating it and evolving and adapting to this new life that you have to make it beautiful, to help your marriage be stronger, to help your home be stronger.
The next question would be, what have we done to maintain our marriage, right? To keep our marriage first, even while we're parenting. What have we found to have worked for us over the years? We've got a 7, 5, and 1.
Yes.
And
a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a 1-year-old.
And so you at least for 7 years over the years, you would know one or two things that has worked for you guys. What would you say we have found? One of the things that I would say is, number one, we have the understanding of identity shift. We got that down pat. When we were dating, we understood that. When we got married, we
Yep.
understood that.
We
When we had
adapted
became parents,
with
we
new
understood that. We
chapters.
shifted with
Yes.
our identity.
Absolutely.
And also we shifted with our identity when we were parents of one,
Yep.
parent of two,
Yep.
parent of three.
Yep.
We shifted with our identity when we
Yeah.
became a parent of a 7-year-old
Yeah.
versus a 1-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
We shift identity. We shift identity when we become a
With
parent
new
of girls.
milestones. Yeah.
And
Oof.
boy,
That's
we
another one.
shift identity. And when they get older, we're going to
Yeah.
shift identity as well. There's
Absolutely.
a time where you're parenting your kids. There's other times where you're training them. There
Yeah.
are other times where you're being their friend. There are
Yeah.
other times where you just counsel and
And knowing
advise.
how to
There's
balance
other times,
everything.
and you have
Yeah.
to shift identity every step of the way
Yeah.
and adapt to that as you go. When you refuse to adapt is when there becomes a problem or a challenge.
Yeah.
What else
Absolutely.
would you say
I
you
mean,
found?
I think a really good one and big one for us is making sure we're on the same page with each other. Like we communicate
Communication is
a
big, yeah.
lot because we want to make sure we're on the same page. We want to make sure we're in agreement because we believe if we're not in agreement, it
Nothing
doesn't
moves.
get done.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're very, very
Intentional.
intentional about that.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's the major growth that we've had in our relationship and marriages. We communicate much better,
Yeah.
and we try to get on the same page because once we're on the same page, it's easier for us to navigate everything else. We know how to, whenever things come out of surprise or
Yeah.
come up nowhere,
Yeah.
we're able to kind of, like you said, evolve and adapt because we never stop communicating. We never stop being on the same page.
Yeah.
And even when we're not on the same page, we work, we put in the work to get there. So I feel like that's been a good one for us
Yeah.
where in putting our marriage first, we're making sure that this is good
Yeah.
intentionally. We understand that our kids are priority, and we make sure that we're focused on them. And because raising kids is not it's not an easy thing to do,
It's a sport.
especially you would think, oh, a lot of people say, when you have the baby, oh my God, the first year, the no sleeping, the breastfeeding and all those things is hard. And it is. But my gosh, the minute they start growing and you have to actually start teaching them life lessons, teaching them how to live life as a human being, that's when it starts to
That's
get
when the work
tricky. That's when it
starts. Yeah.
starts to get tricky. And then you have different gender kids. And now you have to learn how to teach the boy to be a boy, teach the girl to be a girl. And while still taking care and being delicate with their innocence at the same time. It's a very tough task. So kudos to parents out there because it's not an easy thing. I mean, you even look at our parents and you give them their props
Grace, yeah.
because they did such an amazing job,
Yeah.
because it's not an easy thing to do, raising kids,
Yeah.
training them to be good human beings.
Yeah.
It's a whole task.
Yeah.
So working to prioritize them, but at the same time not losing yourself.
Identity. Yeah.
I think that's a big one because we just make sure that we're always on the same page. And I feel like once we had that,
Yeah.
it made it easier for us to make sure this is good while we're focused on them, because we're a team in everything. We make sure we're a team in everything. We make sure we're really a team in every single thing in our lives. So I feel like that has really helped us a lot in
Yeah.
putting our marriage first.
And what you're hearing us say essentially is it's not the children, it's the couple.
Yes.
It's not the children, it's the couple.
Yeah.
If we're good, the kids are good.
Yes.
If we're not good, no
'Cause
matter
they follow
what
our
they do,
cue.
we're
Yeah.
going to say there's a problem.
Yeah.
It's because we have a problem.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
kids don't break or make a marriage.
No.
They
They're
only
innocent in all of
reveal or
this.
amplify what has
Exactly.
already been going on underneath.
Yes.
If you're impatient already, yes, the kids are definitely going to draw that thing out.
They're gonna set it on
You know what I'm
fire.
saying? If you have anger issue,
Yeah,
they
it
would
will
definitely
show.
draw that thing out.
Yes.
If you can't handle stress, they would definitely draw that out.
Yeah.
Now,
So
it's
it
not them.
reveals what's already
It
there.
just reveals what you already have inside of you
Yeah.
already anyways.
Yeah.
It reveals the weak points of
The
your relationship and
responsibility
your
of them
marriage
does that.
that
Yes.
perhaps you may need to pay more attention and start
Yeah.
working on. It reveals the weak points, the areas of improvement that you
Yeah.
have in your marriage, not from a parenting standpoint, but from a couple standpoint, right?
Yes.
And then another thing that I would say we have working for us is we have there was a time where we were just couples. And I recommend to people date court for some time, at least a year, 2 years, three if possible.
Yeah. I mean, we
Be
did 6 years.
build. We did 6 years.
Yeah.
Build friendship.
Mm-hmm.
Build identity.
Yeah.
Build a routine before new routines are
Yes,
introduced,
exactly.
right? And if you can, even after you get married, if you can, meaning you have the time, you have the space, there's no pressure. If you can, things are in alignment and you have the time to, take a year, 2 years of just being married before introducing kids.
Kids, you
Take
can.
that time.
Yeah.
Take in every milestone and every stage of your life together.
Yeah.
Don't rush the next one and the next one and the next
Mm.
one, because you will get to a point where you feel like you're missing something
Yeah.
in a previous milestone
Yeah.
that you didn't really fully get to take in
Yep.
before
And
introducing
it
a new one.
starts to creep
Imagine
up.
getting married.
Mm-hmm.
You just met a girl, you got married to her in a month or 6 months or maybe even a year, somebody you don't really know. And then right after you got married, you got her pregnant. Now y'all are both newly wedded and new parents.
Yeah. It's a lot. And it's not to say that it can't work or you can't
Oh, it
figure it
can
out.
work.
It's more, you just put
It's
in more
more to
work.
figure out.
Yeah, you just put in
Because
more
you're
work.
not taking it page by page,
Yeah.
book by book. You're combining a lot into
Yeah.
one. And if you don't have the maturity
If you're not
necessary,
ready for that
it's
work.
going to
Yeah.
pose a big challenge to your marriage.
Yeah.
It might put a lot of pressure on your marriage. And imagine, let me put it this way. You just got out of school, you got married, you became new parents, you got a new job. At the same time, you want to start a business. At the same time, you want to start a ministry.
Maddening.
You know what I
It's a
mean?
lot.
Like,
It's a lot.
it's just a lot.
Because each one of those milestones come with work.
Exactly.
So
And
combining
they're
all that
going to
together is a lot.
demand a level of commitment
Yeah,
from you
absolutely.
that you will not be able to give
Percent
100%.
of, yeah.
And so while you're trying to be a great parent, you may suck as a husband.
Yeah.
While you're trying to be a good mother, you may be a very, very poor, shabby wife. Again,
And
because
it's not because you can't be.
exactly
It's just
all at once, you know
yeah.
what I mean? So
Yeah.
when we became parents, I can't judge my wife. I can't rate my wifeliness. Like I can't,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? I couldn't grade your ability to be a wife based on your level of being a wife
At
when
that
we
moment.
became
Oh
a
yeah.
parent.
No, that's not
But
fair.
but I knew though, and that's because I knew the kind of wife you were
Yes.
before you became a mom.
Yes.
And so now that you are now a mom, a new identity has been added, a new
Mhm.
responsibility has been added onto you.
Yeah.
And I can't judge you based on
You
that.
can't.
You know what I
It's
mean? Same
unfair.
thing with me.
Yeah.
You can't look at your husband and
The
say, "Well, I
responsibility.
loved it when you were my husband and you weren't her father or his father," because
Mhm.
now you're only just focused on them. You don't even
Mhm.
have time for me.
Mhm.
That's unfair,
Yeah.
right? You can't do that, right? But now we can do it together,
Yeah.
and we can look at each other and say, "Well, we've done the parenting thing. Let's do us,
Yeah.
even if it's for 2 hours, even if it's for one day,
Yeah.
even if it's let's go give the kids to the grandparents,
Mhm.
let's take a trip for a week or whatever, right? Let's be us before the kids show up.
Yes.
At least we know what that looks like." The problem many of times is when you try to jam pack all of those together,
You don't know
you don't know what
how.
it feels like. You don't know what us without this
Yes.
means.
Exactly.
You don't know what us in the dating phase look like before we
Mhm.
got married. All you've
Mhm.
known is your marriage
And it's
stage.
just on the go.
All you've known is being parents.
Mhm.
All you've known is this.
Mhm.
By the time you're ready to now have time for yourself, you don't even know what that feels like.
Yeah.
And so you're on vacation and your wife is on the phone calling her mom, "How are the kids? How's this? How's
Mhm.
that?" She's
Mhm.
not really fully there. because all she's ever known
Was that?
was that.
Mm-hmm.
And so she don't know how to be one-on-one
Yeah.
with you because she's never had a
Yeah,
one-on-one
and
with
that's
you.
why you have a lot of people too that have kids, and when their kids are grown and go to school or go away, they don't even know how to be a couple
Exactly.
anymore. So it's important not to neglect this
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
this don't go nowhere.
Yeah.
So while the responsibilities and the priorities are there, you still have to make the time, make the commitment
Yeah.
to make this work, because it really starts from here.
Yeah. With the couple.
This is where it starts from.
Yeah.
And I would just add, lastly, what has worked for us in putting our marriage first is God.
Yes.
We do not play about God.
Our
Our
relationship with
life
God.
is dedicated to God. Our relationship with God is so important with us. We work on it on the daily. It's a daily work. And it's not individual. It's not you do yours or I'm here. It's like we're pulling each other, you know, and that's been such a big deal for us that God is the center, he's the driver, he's the leader, he's the head, he's the captain of this ship. And
Absolutely.
I feel like that has been we've been gliding on we've been how do you say, we've been resting on the wings of the Holy
Flying
Ghost.
on the
You know,
wings
we've
of the
been
Holy
flying
Ghost.
on the wings of the Holy Ghost, because that's truly what has held us ground. That's been our anchor.
Yeah.
It has held us grounded.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's work on your relationship
Absolutely.
with God.
So do kids make or break a marriage? Does it make a marriage stronger or harder? The truth of the matter is it does both. It does both, but it depends on you, right? It will
Yes.
stretch you, it will test you,
Yes.
it will push you, it will change you, it will transform you, it will do all of that, but it will be it could be good for you.
Yes.
If you do it with love, if you do
Yes.
it with grace for one another and for the kids and for your marriage, if you do it with intentionality, right? You don't just, again, like marriage, parenting is not autopilot. You cannot put parenting on autopilot.
No, you
You've
cannot.
got to be active. It's not, parenting is not passive. Marriage is not passive. It is an
Yes.
active endeavor, right? And you have to be that way with parenting, with marriage, and things like that.
It's not the kids.
It's not the kids, it's you.
you.
And it can make you better.
Yes.
You can find that it is very rewarding. It is very beautiful if you do it
Amazing.
right.
Yes.
Very important that you do it right. With love, with grace, and with a great deal of intentionality.
Yeah.
It doesn't break your marriage. It makes your marriage stronger. It deepens your bond with one another. It helps you grow. It helps you mature
When
better.
done right.
It helps you become a better person in general. It helps you be more about somebody other than yourself. So now you're selfless, right? It really draws you closer and closer to being like God, to being like Jesus, our pattern man, the perfect man. Amen. So
Amen.
I hope we have shared a tip or two to
two
help solidify your kingdom union, not only with the person of self, but also with others, and most importantly, with God on today.
Yes, don't forget to like, share with your friends and family. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so, and comment down below.
Yes, sir. And until next time, be the light.
Be the salt.
And remember, all things are possible if you believe. Goodbye.
Bye.